Welcome back. The City of Ekurhuleni's coalition government is hanging in the balance following the mayor's surprise reshuffle. This has led to the EFF pulling out of the ANC-led arrangement, accusing the mayor of unilaterally shuffling its two MMCs. Now, for more on what this means for the stability of the coalition, we are now joined by ANC Ekurhuleni Secretary Jongizizwe Dlabathi. Jongizizwe Dlabathi, thank you so much for joining us and a very good evening to you. And just to start things off, to take it back to that late night reshuffle, what was the thinking behind it?
No, thank you very much. Firstly, let me correct the statement that says in the promo there are troubles in Ekurhuleni. There is no such. So what actually happened is that over time, we have been engaging the EFF through the leadership of the ANC, in that the EFF is overly represented in the executive committee, because the National Executive Committee of the ANC adopted a coalition framework on how we must manage coalitions in municipalities. And one of the principles is about proportional representation of political parties that makes up the coalition arrangement. Now, in Ekurhuleni, EFF has 4 MMCs relative to what they're supposed to have. If you look at the proportional representation, actually EFF deserve to get 1 seat, but we have appropriated 2 seats to the EFF. So we went through the consultation and we were very fair to say that there must be a proportional...
Just to cut in there, consultation with who? Because according to the EFF, there was no consultation with them. They were just as surprised as the rest of the metro as well.
It's entirely untrue. I'm saying to you, we consulted with the leadership of the ANC. The leadership of the ANC in the province informed the EFF. And we went to the national officials of the ANC where we got a green light. So it is entirely untrue that the EFF is not aware. They should come out honestly to say that they did not accept the fact that we are reducing them into 2. So it's false that they were not aware. They were aware, they were consulted, but of course they did not agree to our view.
Okay, let's just maybe distinguish, were they informed or were they consulted with? Did you have vigorous negotiations, or the ANC that you represented?
I'm saying to you, the leadership of the ANC in the province engaged the EFF as part of the consultative process. And there was a discussion, and I'm saying to you, the EFF refused to accept the fact that we've arrived at the point where we need to proportionally allocate seats. And we do accept that they did not accept our decision, but our decision stands.
You said you need to correct the intro that there are no troubles, but when one looks at it, it's not a metro that is stable right now. You have invited Action SA to join. They have rejected and declined your invitation. You have a coalition partner that has now withdrawn from your government of local unity. You don't have enough seats to govern with a majority. So this does sound like a municipality in trouble.
No. The municipality is not in trouble, CC, on the basis that political parties are not agreeing about the formation of the leadership of the executive. And I think we must educate everyone else. There's a separation of power. The municipality continues to function. Council meetings are sitting. Council committees are sitting. The mayoral committee is sitting to process items that must go to council. For your information, the mayoral committee has processed items that will be before council of February. The administration is intact, doing its work on a day-to-day basis. We are reporting as and when we are required to do so as part of compliance. So for us, if you collapse at those aspects, then you can come to a conclusion that there are troubles, not solely on the fact that political parties are not agreeing on the mayoral committee. So we must make that particular distinction. But we do appreciate that probably we are not all of us directly involved with the affairs of the municipality. And probably we make conclusion on the sentiments of what political party are issuing in terms of the statement. So the city is not in trouble, continues to function as a council and as a municipality. Of course, there are challenges in terms of the formation of the executive, but the executive is there. It's only missing only 3 members of the mayoral committee, to which the executive mayor will be filling those positions very soon. Lastly, the issue of the Action SA. We have been having engagement with the leader of the Action SA, for your information, on numerous occasions. And the Action SA has actually given us a signal that they want to be part of the executive. Action SA in the City of Ekurhuleni has the chairperson of the Oversight Committee. Just yesterday, Action SA actually withdrew a motion which was calling for the establishment of the deputy mayor in the City of Ekurhuleni. Now, a party that has no interest in the executive will not submit a motion of the deputy mayor. Of course, they had an eye to be part of government through that. What really transpired here is that upon us reducing the EFF and extending an invite to the Action SA out of the numerous engagements that we have had, the EFF threatened the Action SA to say that if you dare form part of the executive in the City of Ekurhuleni replacing us, we are withdrawing our support in the City of Tshwane. Now, Mr. Herman Mashaba had to then weigh whether do I risk the removal of the Action SA mayor in Tshwane. And we have said it in our press briefing yesterday that EFF does not have the capacity to remove any mayor in the City of Tshwane outside the African National Congress. So Mr. Mashaba just took a retreat really on a threat from the EFF, which in our view, it is not a significant threat.
I would like to also go back to the press briefing. In your press briefing, when you're speaking about this alleged threat by the EFF, you said, in your view as the ANC, now you're saying it as a matter of fact. Do you have evidence that the EFF did in fact threaten Action SA to say that if they do join your metro in Ekurhuleni, they will pull the mayor in the City of Tshwane or anything else in the City of Tshwane? Are you saying it as a matter of fact now, or is that your view?
Certainly, I am confirming it as a matter of fact. And in fact, some of the members of the Action SA, and out of respect of the information that we have received, have actually confirmed this.
I want to go to what happens next. You're saying that there's only 3 MMCs missing. Administratively, the city is still running. But we do know, Mr. Dlabathi, that leadership actually does matter. So these 3 missing MMC posts, where are they going to come from?
Yeah, so just to empower you, leadership matters. There is leadership in the form of the executive mayor. And the members of the mayoral committee are an extension of the executive mayor in terms of the authority. Secondly is that there is a Speaker of Council who presides over the council affairs. So there's leadership at legislature. At the level of multi-party, we do have a whip of council who deals with the affairs of multi-party. So there is leadership in that regard. So I'm saying in the components of the institution, the office bearers, there's leadership. We do have a city manager in the City of Ekurhuleni, who is, by the way, if you can follow our page on social media, is doing a great work along with other senior managers in a program called Fixing the Frontline, where there is a renewed commitment of making sure that we accelerate service delivery. So there is no vacuum. There's a mayor, there's a speaker, there's a whip, there's a city manager. The other 3 functions, there are MMCs that are going to be delegated to look at those functions up until the executive mayor fills those positions.
What does this mean for the government of provincial unity? You said when it comes to this decision at a local level, you did discuss with your leaders at a province level as well, and that's why the decision was made. But we do know that the ANC obviously does lead the EFF on a provincial level. There might be a ripple effect. Does that concern you at all?
So the ANC does not have a relationship with the EFF at the level of the provincial government. Of course, the EFF, out of its own accord, it does provide some support. So we must separate a formal relationship and a party that decides to support the African National Congress as and when. And it is something that we welcome, and it is something that we encourage. Our view is that the City of Ekurhuleni should not be a collateral for the rest of everything in the province. And I think a matured party, EFF, if they are, they should appreciate that issues of local government should not necessarily be brought in as it relates to the issues of the province. And the leadership of the province is seized with the responsibility of mitigating any risk that might arise as a result of an agitated EFF, which has been reduced accordingly in the city of Ekurhuleni, in all fairness. But we do believe that there will be a solution and the provincial leadership will continue to operate.
Are you being hopeful that there'll be a solution, even though in the local government you have kind of had this rebuttal with the EFF? You've also accused them of tender process failures. You've accused them of also being complicit in some sort of corruption. And you're saying they should rise above those kinds of accusations and what's happened in local government of Ekurhuleni and look beyond that when it comes to the province to support the ANC.
Yeah, separate the two. Local government matters and how they feel about our decision at the level of the municipality. Let's deal with those. It should not necessarily be a condition of sustaining a relationship at another level. That is unprincipled. What we said yesterday about the conduct of the EFF when they were involved in government, the effects to back those, whether we speak about the 2 billion under collection as a result of the decision that they took to move a critical function from energy to ICT that caused a financial mess, that is a fact. Whether we speak about them claiming that they represent insourcing, when they had an opportunity in 2023 of ensuring that they insource security guards internally, they actually opted for 100% tender on securities. When we say to you we've appropriated 200 million to the department led by the EFF to procure chemical toilets as a way of progressively moving away from hiring chemical toilets 100% from the contracted service, and they've spent no cent purely because they have some interest in the companies that are operating there. It is a fact.
One might say it's a case of the pot calling the kettle black because, I mean, if you just listen to the Madlanga Commission and what's come out about the ANC leadership in the city of Ekurhuleni, it also isn't glorious, to put it mildly.
Well, again, you must also follow it carefully. There's no ANC leadership that has appeared in the Madlanga Commission. Who has appeared in the Madlanga Commission is senior officials, namely Brigadier Julius Mkwanazi, who is the Deputy Chief of Police, is not ANC leader, is an official. Dr. Imogen Mashazi, former city manager of Ekurhuleni, is not an ANC politician and a leader, official. Kemi Behari, the head of legal, is not an ANC
the names,
leader,
but let me
official.
just give you one name, just because we're running out of time.
What
What about TK Ngqiza, who was also mentioned? That's an ANC leader we know of.
Mentioning as an allegation, TK Ngqiza has not appeared in the Madlanga Commission. And what we are saying is that as ANC, we are obviously opposed to any form of interference and maladministration and corruption. And if Mr. TK Ngqiza would have interfered, there was no mandate from the ANC for him to go and interfere. And I know that he will have his right of reply. So the point I'm making that on the basis of inference of a person that is associated with the ANC, that's not ANC leadership. He has not been given any mandate to do wrong things in the city of Ekurhuleni. What you must comprehend is that those that appeared in the Madlanga Commission till to date are senior officials in the city of Ekurhuleni, not ANC leadership.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Of course, that was the ANC Ekurhuleni Secretary, Jongizizwe Dlabathi, saying there's no trouble in the city of Ekurhuleni.